Zuby, who is a rapper in the United Kingdom and a very insightful observer of American politics, not at all afraid to say what he thinks. We sat down with him for a new episode of Tucker Carlson today. Told us what he thinks of COVID mandates and the state of our ruling class. Worth listening to. Here's part of it. When you're in London and you're in Great Britain, does anybody ever say, I can't believe what's going on? Here you.
5'9", though. Let's see if he has the reach here on the pole grass. This goes vary in distance from 2 feet to 5 feet apart. So far, the only person to attempt the 5-foot gap tonight has failed. So Morgan be the first. The combination of using your lower body and your upper body is the key here on the pole grass ring. If you try to maneuver with just the upper body, it will wear you down. Using the feet as pinchers there. Here it is, the 5-foot gap. Can he do it? Oh, a little slide to spin there. Get your signals out. Morgan keeps going. He's done it. Jeremy Morgan through the pole grass ring. But he's not done yet. The spider climb is not a gimme. And the Morgan family definitely doesn't have this obstacle in their barn. He's never tried it before. It's only 4 feet wide with tired arms and legs. This is not easy. 5 feet taller than last year, but it looks like it's not deterring Morgan. He can smell it. He can smell victory. Well, the Morgan family can hold their head up high. Jeremy Morgan completes the course. He's on to Vegas. Here's what made it all possible. Last round, he couldn't get up the wall in 3 tries. This time, look at him explode to the top on his first attempt. That skate park training paid off.
How did it feel to stand up there and know that you were moving on to Mount Midoriyama?
It was a relief. It felt great to be up there and hit that buzzer for the first time. So I'm just so grateful to finally conquer that wall.
You did finally conquer the wall, and now you are moving on to Vegas. What did it mean to have the whole family here, your son, Jen, everybody here cheering for you?
The support was tremendous. It makes it so much easier. Somehow it sends the life back into your muscles. It was great.
Well, it was great. We can't wait to see Vegas. He's ready to go celebrate with you.
Coming up, he's the oldest competitor of the night. The 47-year-old Fan possibly pull off another miracle run.
Just to prove to myself that I belong as part of the elite.
And later, he's got one of the top jobs in Texas.
I'm basically a male cheerleader for the Dallas Cowboys.
Now Kevin Klein tries to run his way to Vegas when American Ninja Warrior returns.
At Domino's, we're giving away $50 million in surprise frees instead of surprise fees like other delivery apps. When you order delivery online, you can be surprised with free lava cakes.
Thank you, Steven. Dude, they're fun, man. They're fun to watch. Hey, by the way, yeah, you know what, dude? I just so you know, I don't have anything against Lee. Not at all. I just didn't want. I didn't. You know why I wasn't very friendly to Lee at 1090? Because I didn't want those dudes, Scott and Billy Ray would never do anything to hurt anybody. He's a great dude. So much respect for him. I love the guy. It's a shame what's happened. But Darren's another guy too. I mean, you know, they were all making gigantic money. Scott was making $500,000. Darren was making like $354,000. And those guys had their own little world. Nobody knew around the country how much money that was being shoveled into those guys. I mean it. Look at Darren now. He's getting annihilated in ratings. 1090 is a phenomenal stick. And if you're not getting ratings on that channel, you don't know how to do radio. Now he's on a station that nobody can hear him, and nobody is hearing him. Darren does a decent show. I don't really get it. I don't think it's overall that entertaining. I think Scott is really good at non-sports stuff, as he gets into sports, his takes aren't the greatest, but he does a really good radio show. He works hard and he knows the game. Scott's a real radio broadcaster, and he was making a killing there. And what they did was they made Lee into a side joke. And Scott had to, because he had to diminish Hacksaw's star so that his star could get bigger. And that's what he did. He tried to do that in New York, but they beat the piss out of him at WNEW, and that's why he got fired. He thought he was going to go to New York and do that. And as much as he loves Sid, he was never going to make it in New York because he tried to do that stuff. And that's why Carton is where he is. And Scott's not there doing radio in New York. Remember, he took over. Carton took over for Scott. But to Scott's credit, I mean, they made a lot of money, dude. They made a lot of money, those guys at they made a lot of money at 1090. Billy, Coach, and Lee are good guys. The rest, including the front office and management, are completely did that, Steven. Here, Lee and Mike Shepard. By the way, I love Mike Shepard. I'm not gonna, but he had no respect for Lee. But Lee didn't want to listen either, man. He didn't really, Steven, he didn't want to hear anything about the new PPM. And Lee didn't want to evolve. PPM is completely different. It's not Arbitron. Nobody's writing things in any longer. And Lee didn't get the Arbitron. I knew how to move the needle. That's why, and you know, he can dispute it, but I tripled ratings. Completely whatever. Hey, Stephen, what you just said right there is 1,000% the truth. Absolutely. Yes, he is. And by the way, you know, I don't blame Lee for attacking me, but he should be attacking Scott. And he doesn't have the, I don't want to say he doesn't have the backbone, but he just doesn't want Scott going after him anymore. And that's why he chooses to say something about me, which quite frankly, I don't really care. And at the end of the day, Lee knows it's like, you know, okay, you should be ripping Scott for what he's done to your career in San Diego. Okay. I'm glad to see Lee's doing something on the weekends with the TV station. I am. I'm not, honestly, I don't. But those two guys, man, they were undermining to him. They did everything they could to belittle Lee. You should have seen, they called me and they go like this. He's getting beat by reruns of Dan Patrick. And I was in Florida at the time. And they said, we want you to take over for Hacksaw. And I said, well, I'm not taking over for Lee. Lee's probably got big numbers. He goes, he's got 05s. But you know what, though, Steven? That's because those other shows were ripping him on the air, saying shit about him on the air. I listened. And if I was a talk show host and I heard people fucking talking about me like that on the air, I would have walked into my boss's office, and I also would have walked into my program director's office, and I would have beat the shit out of him. Be right back. Hang on.
Just chewed up the athletes, with over a third of the competitors ending their run here on the ring toss. Sam Sand steadily moving forward. And he's through. There it is. The roll. Again, we talk about how important technique is. He is not 100%, but he knows how to get up that wall. The Sam. And here's the thing. Most of these obstacles he has in his own gym. He's capable of training hundreds of people on the sand ladder alone. This should not be a problem for him. But he doesn't have the swinging cranes in his gym because it's a brand new obstacle this season. It'll be interesting to see how he handles it. Well, the swinging cranes can be a little difficult because you hit with pressure. That's where you get a tilt. Couldn't make the reach. Hung up again. Look at that extension.
Steven, it's a damn shame Lee didn't take that because you know what? Pete Franklin told me that Lee had an opportunity. You know what, Steven? Let me tell you this. I was doing radio in San Francisco, and Pete Franklin, I guess he was on 1090 at one time, and he and Lee were friends. And you want to hear something? My wife loved Pete Franklin. And I got to become friends with Pete. And I liked Pete. He was living in San Diego before he passed away. And he said, man, Lee had an opportunity to do other things. Didn't want to do it. It's okay. He carved out a great career. Dude, when I think of West Coast radio, Hacksaw's it. East Coast radio is Francesa. Nobody in WIP. Maybe Angelo. No, it goes like this. Angelo and Francesa are East Coast. Okay? And South was me. I had the highest rated show in the South in radio, in sports radio. Midwest. Maybe one of them Chicago guys. Like North. West Coast. Okay, wait. Northern California, it was Gary Radnich. And in Southern California, it was Lee. Absolutely, it was Lee Ham. It was Hacksaw. Los Angeles has always had horrible talk show hosts. What is up, Trev? How you doing, dude? A lot better. Thank you for asking. I know I am. Yeah, I know I am. Hang on for a second here. Yes, you see, because I'm doing something here, and I'll get to you in a second. Jesus Christ, guy. What are you, like 14 years old? I'll get to you. I'm talking to you, Junior. One of my friends here has got a opportunity to do a interview for a board op position in Miami. And I'm not going to say any names. The number one thing I would tell you is don't bring my name up. I didn't even hear what you said, and I didn't care. That's not, those Houston people, they send out such nice Twitter things on me, that company. Hey, how's everything going, Chris? Okay. Okay, no. I was just saying, hey. Puma? Really, guy? Shut up. And stop acting like you're sad. It makes me sick. Who's Ralph Macchio? Nice reference, duty. Ralph Macchio? Dude, hey, Trevor goes, Puma? Not the big Puma, Lance Berkman. That's funny, dude. Oh, they were, man. You know what? This guy's just bringing something up that I used to do on 1090 called the Pet Connection. And I used to do it every Friday at 7:45. And for like my entire radio career when I was in like morning drive, I tried to find homes for abandoned animals. I must have found homes for, I don't know, 5,000 animals my entire time doing that. I even had like Petco eventually giving me food cards for everybody that ended up like taking one of the animals. That greyhounds. I started doing it, Chris, because of greyhounds, because I found out that after they were not like running any longer, they would shoot the dogs and throw them in a pit and then throw lime on them. And when I found that out when I lived in Tampa, I went nuts. I said, "You're fucking kidding me. You kill these animals? You don't adopt them out?" And I was so angry about that. And greyhounds, like, because there's a Calienta racetrack over the border. And yeah, man, I just really like that segment. Trevor, you like that? Good. Yeah, it's called the Pet Connection. No. Oh, Stephen, that's nice. That's what makes you a special broadcaster. Those greyhounds were abused, man. I hated it. Oh, it made me cry. I got you, bro. I'm right here. Still? Oh, God, you ass. Test. All right. Good evening, America. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. How are you? And hope all are having a fabulous night. Appreciate everybody coming aboard here on America's Happy Hour of Radio. That's what we love dubbing this show here. The Happy Hour of Radio. This is where you don't have to urinate on somebody or somebody's take or political party or what have you. Because we sit around and we kick the can down the road and talk sports. Good time for all, right? Republicans, Democrats. It's the only show in America where, guess what? You could sit around with somebody who maybe doesn't have the same political views as you and actually have a decent conversation. And most notably, probably today, a more worthwhile conversation. Here on this show, you don't hear people doing this. Well, because I'm really qualified to sound like a doctor, Dr. Dan on the radio here. Get your vaccinations. All the dopes that do that, or the people who are against it, What's your qualification? You ever wonder the people that get this? You ever wonder what their qualifications are when it comes to something like that? Playing doctor on TV or on the radio. Hey, Don Lemon or Tucker Carlson, these guys are not qualified to talk to you about medicine. Just like the NFL's not qualified to tell their players about medicine, or for that matter, being like marriage counselors or dealing with abuse when it comes to drugs. You're a football league guy. Don't you? Or I don't really. I'm facetious here when I say this. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. This is why, you know what, I used to do this all the time. Steven and Trevor, thank you guys for coming aboard. By the way, if you're on my social media platforms, Twitch or YouTube, we thank you so much. Okay? Please like it. It's important. We thank you very much. You can also become part of the show. This is how I talk to people now. Throwing a number out. I don't really like radio trolls. Done with that. Been pretty much done with that 10 years ago. Sit around talking to the same guy. Hey, John, Sarasota, how you doing? Not me. I don't care how you're doing, John. we're every day talking to you. It's unless you're a family member, man, I don't want to hear it. Okay? But when you bring something to the platform and through the social media platforms, that means you went out of your way for me. And so I have to respect that, and I do respect that. And I thank you so much as you guys come aboard with us here. Yeah, these leagues now are really they're pretty interesting. You know what? I just hope the NFL doesn't take a cue out of what's going on in Washington when it comes to telling the military to get vaccinated by November 28th. Yeah. What if you don't want to? They're going to court-martial you? Are they going to court-martial you because you don't take the vaccination? Really? or are they going to give you a dishonorable discharge? What's the end game to that? Here, let me get this. So the American military, who protects our country, who was just over in Afghanistan, relocating thousands of Afghans, putting their life on the line for our country, are now being told by our government that if you don't get a vaccination by November 28th, you'll be court-martialed. Now the NFL is making it harder on non-vaccination players. I see that Antonio Brown's got to pass 2 tests. You know what's crazy about this test? What I don't understand is, okay, so you don't have any of the symptoms, but if you break the protocols, you're in COVID-19 testing. Wow, really weird. You see, to me, if somebody comes down with the sniffles, and I'm not comparing it to the sniffles, I'm not at all. That doesn't necessarily mean I have the flu or I feel sick. I mean, I look at the mortality rate more than I do the case rate. It's weird how we're doing this. And every time the federal government, you see, what I don't get is, and this goes in, the reason I'm bringing this up, because the NFL has made this a mandate, pretty much. Aren't you saying this to NFL players and fans and everybody in our country? Well, if you don't have the vaccination, quite frankly, you've got to go through this, and you could get others sick, and you could get me sick. That's what they're implying. Well, then you're admitting that the vaccinations don't work. Really weird. But here, that's the confusion that maybe half the country is going through, where they don't want to do it. And now you're going to mandate it on the military? Jesus criminy, man. Really? Oh, hey, and for the record, how'd that thing go the other day with the so-called QAnon guys in D.C.? You see all those military people that were in the nation's capital? You could have had them at the border helping people who were pregnant moms giving birth under a bridge. You could have had those folks down there helping those people who are living like pigs. Okay? Living like pigs. You could have helped those folks out. Hey, you want to be a humanitarian? Send our military down to the border and help those folks if you want to be really welcoming, at least help them. Give them a hand across the border. You're not stopping them. At least feed them and help them. And don't stick them under a bridge. My God almighty, you look like a third world country. Honestly, every time I see those pictures, I'm like this, really? Man, we are so out of touch with that. Unbelievably out of touch with that. Let me talk about a story, though, that sparked my interest before we came on the air here. Throw this at you here. Congratulations to the Tampa Bay Rays. You are the best baseball team in Major League Baseball. Congratulations to you. My God almighty. $71 million payroll. It's insanity. Insanity. They qualified today for the postseason for the third straight year. I posted a picture of me and Matt Silverman, the president of the Rays. I know Matt real well. That organization with Stu Sternberg and the people that have bought that Rays, when they got that team from Vince Namoli, I in no way ever saw that these guys would be that type of organization. Third straight year in the AL East. They're 5 games away from clinching the American League East in the division of the Yankees and Red Sox. And Blue Jays and Orioles. All big money payroll teams, all big cities. Little old sleepy Tampa with the old folks home. Nobody goes to the games at the Trop, right? You could have like Geritol night at the Trop. That's the only people that go are the old people. Fan base is fair weathered. Team does well. Postseason, they'll show up. But that baseball team shows up they got 94 wins now? That is freaky unbelievable. Kudos to you. You get rid of Snell. You get rid of Evan Longoria, Carl Crawford. Go down the list of the players that they have jettisoned. David Price. Doesn't matter. Same result every year. There's a formula in that building. There's a formula with that organization. I don't know if they'll be the same organization once they move to Las Vegas. Or, I don't know, maybe you think Vegas gets 2 teams? You think they get the A's and the Rays? They may. Tampa Bay has been trying to get a stadium either in Hillsborough County or near the Hard Rock Casino on the Indian Reservation because the Hard Rock wants to actually buy them and build them a stadium. But whatever, Major League Baseball, maybe they won't now because gambling is legal. Maybe they won't hedge on this one, and maybe they will let them build it. But get this, I think they want to move a couple teams to Vegas. Why not? There's a bag of money there. They're looking at what's going on with the Golden Knights, and they're looking at what's going on with the Vegas Raiders. Trevor says it's the A's. Oh, there's no doubt the A's are moving there. I just wonder if the Rays will follow. I'm not sure you can have 2 American League teams. So maybe there'll be a situation where they move teams over to the National League and American League. I don't think you can have, 2 teams in the American League in the same city because no city in America has that. So I don't think you can have two AL teams in Vegas. But the A's, it's going to be a race to get there. Rays are the best. Get this, too. You know what, really? I just thought about this for a second. How about this? The Oakland Athletics and the Rays are model franchises, how you don't piss money away. Am I right? How you do not waste money, and it's effective. A's are always good. Now, the American League West is not what the AL East is. Okay, Yankees and Red Sox, I don't care. The National League West is Dodgers and Giants, okay? Then everybody else kind of fills in. We all know that, okay? National League West, come on. San Francisco and the Dodgers, big money payroll teams. And in the American League East, it's Yankees and Red Sox. Both teams, $200 million. Okay. And for the record, the Blue Jays aren't far behind with like $178, $180 million. Those are big money payroll teams. And there's those Rays. And there's the A's. The A's are better than the Los Angeles Angels. How's that for you? A team that has Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout on it. The A's are better than you because they know how to spend their money. Baseball is the only sport where you can throw a bag of money at players and it won't matter on your success. Remember when the Texas Rangers had A-Rod? Okay? Remember when they had A-Rod? They finished in last place when they made a deal for him. The guy ended up getting so broke because he went after A-Rod, he had to sell the team. Oh, they got Alfonso Soriano for A-Rod. Great. Wow, that panned out. The Yankees got an MVP year out of him. Jesus criminy, man. Yeah, great. Good. Congratulations to you, man. Hey, how about Soriano, man, for A-Rod? What a deal. That's as bad as Bush. That's as bad as Bush sending Sosa to the Cubs. Wolverine said, keep it around the Sileo show. Dr. Dan. Yeah, Chris, sounds like a really novel idea. Let me know when you're really working on the idea of it, and I'll get back to you. Oh, Jesus, man. I mean, listen, and when you're right, if jokes are going to be part of the show, let's make sure we hire like a good producer on that too, okay? Because yeah. Okay, you're good for about 2 ideas a night. Let's not stress your brain cells out. I know, honey. It's okay. You want to, throw your slings and arrows. It's good. That's right. Soriano's only good season was with the Nationals in 2006. He did. Trevor, Chris just said it. He had some good years with the Yankees, man. He did. He had some good years. Yeah. Hey, did he hit 40 bombs with the Cubs? Trev, I think he hit 40 bombs. He may have been a 40-40 guy. Let's see. Alfonso Soriano. Yeah, dude, I could have swore he was like a 30 or 40-40 guy. Yeah, there's 41 stolen bases. He led baseball in stolen bases with 41. Oh, he had 39 bombs and 41 stolen bases. He was a 30-30 guy. He did it. Get this. Oh, no, he was a 40-40 guy. In 2006, you're right, Trev. He stole 41 bases and hit 46 bombs. That's a fucking amazing year. Wow, look at that with the Yankees, though. The 200 hit years. How many? No, he wasn't. He had 412 home runs for a career. Listen to these years, Chris. 39, 38, 30, 36, 46, 33, 30, 25, 26, 28, 32, 34, 25. Dude, this guy put up big years. I think he was on that 2000 Yankee team, no? Alfonso Soriano. Yep. Let me see. I got to get this. Was he on that 2000? Yeah, he was he was a scrub on that team, though. He had 22 games. Yep. Yeah, he was on the 2000 team. He was on the 99 team. He was a scrub on both them. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Hope all are having a great night. College football and NFL football are looking at some of the greatest ratings that they have had over the last 20 years. Do you know this? College football numbers, there's an appetite right now for college football. A huge appetite. You know, when you're in the New England area and you're in the major cities, college football is not a big player. Philadelphia, Boston, Chicago will always be like Notre Dame country. No, it's not Northwestern. It's not. It's Notre Dame country. That's why Notre Dame is playing Wisconsin this weekend at Soldier Field, because Chicago is a big Notre Dame city. Always has been. Always will be. New York, too, a little bit. Subway Notre Dame fans used to go and play at Yankee Stadium all the time back in the day. Not that that's translated with fans today, but the historical aspect of Notre Dame football is Chicago and New York. And those fans, you know, not real huge on the West Coast. That's a Southern Cal country. But there's a massive appetite, just a massive appetite for college football. Some notable games this weekend. I just mentioned Notre Dame, Wisconsin. I think A&M versus Arkansas is going to be interesting. I'm really glad to see Arkansas back in the building again. I really do. I really just love the fact that Arkansas is a player. They were such a great football program when I was growing up. They have been just a non-factor in college football. A non-factor for the last 20 years. Non-factor. I haven't even heard of Arkansas football in the last 20 years. So I hope that this is a renaissance and they can make that program back to what it was. So, again, huge appetite for college football. Big game on Monday night. Not going to hit on it too much. We'll wait till we get to Monday of next week. But it is Cowboys and Eagles. You know, I was going through the numbers with the Cowboys. And I must tell you, Ezekiel Elliott is being outplayed by Tony Pollard so horribly that the Cowboys are trying to make excuses on why they're playing Ezekiel Elliott. What a horrible contract. Horrible contract. Zeke Elliott in 2 years will be Todd Gurley. And do you know where Todd Gurley is right now? He's out of work. When Todd got his bag of money in Los Angeles, the decline of that player followed each and every single year. Same thing with Ezekiel Elliott. He shouldn't be on the Cowboys. I mean, Todd Gurley, he fell off the back of the truck. Ezekiel Elliott fell off the building. This guy has plummeted since 17. Plummeted. He's, I used to say this, restructure his contract, maybe you keep him on the Cowboys. I don't want him on the Cowboys. He's not the same player. What happened to him? Was he injured? I don't remember these injuries piling up with him. Was he overused? Not really hard. I don't think so. You know that Tony Pollard's averaging 7 yards a carry? Zeke is 29th in yards per carry in the league. And you're paying him $10 million. You want to hear something else? Do you know how much money he counts against the cap next year? 18. Get this, $18.5 million. This is his last year as a Dallas Cowboy. He will not be on that team next year. Folks, do me a favor, podcasterwarehouse.com. Get over there, please. Great place for you to set up your home studio. Use the promo code Sileo, S as in Sam, ILEO. That's Sileo, S as in Sam, ILEO. Podcasterwarehouse.com. The greatness of Tom Brady continues. Another amazing stat. We'll do it next. Indeed. Who? She's not allowed on Skull Island. She says some discouraging things about gorillas and stuff, even though she thinks she's like the gorilla whisperer. She's not really welcomed on Skull Island. No. We've had a falling out. Not me. I kind of hate the chick. She came over on some grant. She thought that was going to work, and when she showed up, she thought she was going to get a government loan or something here, and we said absolutely not. You'll live in a hut like everyone else. No, we declined it. We was like, she came over and she goes, it's like a couple $1 million on this loan. And I said, not here. Yeah. I mean, look, 50 coconuts. I mean, it's one of the golden coconut banks. She thought she was going to be a smartass, though. And I just said, shut that down right now. We're not loaning anything. She'll have to go to Skull Clays if she wants to do that. And they even denied her. City Kong said no way either. Foreclosed on them. They did some shady deals. Yeah, you do any shady things you get thrown in the pit. Pit's very deep. No, you're probably a smart thing. Yeah, she's been excommunicated. Well, I didn't really care. I mean, like I said, misinterpreted anything. She was being a smartass, and she got, sent back into right down the drain. Again, off the brow of my head. Who cares? I have more issues with me drinking chocolate milk at night than I do thinking about that piece of shit. Yes. He must be from Jersey. Oh, Mount Vernon. Holy cow, this guy's up there in Westchester County. He don't know shit about New York. Yeah, Bronx border. Really? This guy's a Westchester County, man. This guy puts on galoshes. Really, man. This guy carries an umbrella. Yeah, Trevor, this guy, if he lives in Mount Vernon, he carries an umbrella in a attaché case. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Yeah, I just heard something really anti-New York. Well, Sills, he's from Mount Vernon. Holy cow. You kidding me, right? This guy wears a scarf. Right? This guy wears galoshes and folds them up and puts them in his little tube. Yes, he's got gloves from Bloomingdale's, correct. Hey, can you make sure you give me that cuff link? Yeah, hey, when you're from Scarsdale and Mount Vernon, you wear cufflinks to lunch. Hey, I'm from New York. Oh, wow, really? Where? Mount Vernon. I know, man. Anybody tells me you're from New York and they go, I am from Rye. You ain't from New York, dude. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Where you from again? I'm from Banksville, New York. Oh, my God. Right, man. Holy cow. Are you? Yeah, I'm from the New York area. No. Okay. You're from the New York area. Where are you from? I'm from Paterson, New Jersey. Oh, my God almighty. You're from Paterson? You're kidding me. That's on the other side of the bridge heading down towards Sea Caucus. Oh, my God. Let me roll into this here. Appreciate everybody coming aboard, having some fun here, too. Ken, thanks for coming aboard. Steven, you guys are all awesome. People want me to do some baseball stuff. As we get into the playoffs, I swear to God, we will talk playoffs. Playoffs? I promise we will. Okay? I promise you. By the way, again, I had somebody ask me another question about the Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. dust up in the locker room or in the dugout there. Two guys make $30 million a year. Dust up. Okay. Manny Machado, you can read his lips. Hey, kid. I was like, that's good. Nobody cares. They're struggling right now. They're struggling to win. Their starting pitching is the letdown. Here's the difference between the Atlanta Braves and the Padres. Every single player that they have invested, John Sherholtz told me this, the former president of the Atlanta Braves. The Braves rarely invest, in players that are everyday players. They rarely do that. The majority of their draft picks are pitching. Pitching constantly is a major factor in why the Atlanta Braves are always in the conversation when it comes to development of starters is because the Braves invest in that. If you take a look at all their first rounders and all their high draft picks, the Braves are notorious for that. God, I forget the third baseman's name that was there during that Bobby Cox run. He's from Florida. He's from DeLand, Florida. God forbid. No, not Terry Pendleton. They dealt him. He was the only guy, Chipper Jones. Dude, know this. Under the Bobby Cox era, when they had Maddox, who, by the way, they traded for to the Cubs to get him to go to Chicago. Actually, he was a free agent. Let me take that back because he chose between Atlanta or New York, and he chose to go to Atlanta. Smoltz, okay? Smoltz, Glavine, Maddox, okay? Those guys were the benchmark. They were never going to get rid of those guys. Remember when they had Waller as their closer too? I mean, everybody was expendable. Fred McGriff, Pendleton. Go down the list except for Chipper. Chipper was the only guy that was a benchmark at third base during the Bobby Cox era. Everybody else was dealt. Everybody. Anybody who was on any of those championship teams, I'm not talking World Series championship, I'm talking National League East. What was it, 14 years in a row they won that thing? The bottom line, it came down to they were just never going to invest in the everyday player. Trevor makes a spectacular point. Chipper Jones was the Derek Jeter of the South. That's a great comment. He was the one guy they were never going to deal. And everything was going to be centered around the pitching. Everything was going to be centered around pitching. I mean, they never changed those guys out. By the way, if you want to look down at it, I mean, Smoltz is arguably one of the greatest big game pitchers in postseason play. And didn't Greg Maddux win like over 350 ball games? I mean, I think Greg Maddux has got more victories than Roger Clemens. And the guy couldn't throw over 90 miles an hour. Couldn't throw over 90 miles an hour. What a pitcher, man, he is. And I know Greg. I swear to God, let me tell you a quick story before I move on to football here. So I lived in Vegas for a while with my wife, and Greg's from Vegas. And the guy who got me into broadcasting, his name's Ron Futrell. So we go over to a high school that Greg's pitching. Greg was still, I think Greg was a Cy Young Award winner. Valley High School. Hey, get this. I go over to Valley High School with Ron Futrell. I worked at ABC 13. I think it's KTNV. And I worked at that station as Ron's producer for the 6 and the 11 o'clock. And I went over there and I go, where's Greg Maddux? He goes, that's him right there. I went, that's Greg Maddux? This guy looked like Ichabod Crane and he was 5'11". I said, that's Greg Maddux. He goes, yeah. He goes, you want to meet him? I go, oh, yeah. I walk over and I've had Greg on my show numerous times. And I just go like this. Am I right, Trevor? Clemens has got 354 wins. And get this. I mean, Maddux has got 355. Clemens has got 354. Think of that for a minute. Everyone always assumes that Roger Clemens is one of the biggest right-hand pitchers since the World War II. Maddux has got more wins. Greg Maddux has got more wins than Roger Clemens. Incredible. That guy who couldn't hit 90 on the jug gun. I go over to him and I was like, wow, man, he's just sitting there and I'm meeting him and he's like, yeah. You know, I come out here. His brother, I think, is a pitching coach in the league now. I think his brother's a pitching coach. I don't remember where he was, but I know he's gone around the league. His brother, Mike Maddux, I think he's a pitching coach. I know La Russa loves the guy. And Dave Duncan was also part of that whole thing with Tony La Russa, but I think his brother's a pitching coach. But Greg was amazing, man. Loved Vegas. Still lives in Vegas. Still all pitching. And I asked him about the Braves' success. He's like, yeah, it was all about starting pitching. Mike Maddux is with the Cardinals. Sounds right. Sounds right. I think he's been there a bit too. So, I mean, yeah. Mike was fairly decent. Brother, spectacular, though. So I promise you, Steven, who was the fourth guy in that rotation for a little bit at the beginning? His name was Steve something. Steve Avery. That's it. Thank you very much, Chris. Way to go. It was Steve Avery, Maddox, Smoltz, and Glavin. And those guys were great. They had four big – Avery fell apart the quickest. Okay? Yeah. They fell apart the quickest. That was one of the best runs ever. Did they underachieve? Most notably, they did. One World Series title with those guys? Those Hall of Famers? I mean, they beat Cleveland for the World Series? Really? Okay. I mean, to me, when I think of those Atlanta Braves teams, I do this to you. They remind me of the 85 Bears. One-hit wonders. Okay? When you're really considered a great ball team. Now, to be fair, back then they didn't have these wild card rounds. Can you imagine if that Mets team of, around the 86 team, the 85, 86, 87, those Mets teams, if they had wild card teams, how many World Series would they have won? Remember something about the Marlins. The Marlins have never won a National League East crown. Never have won a National League East crown. They came out of the wild card to win the World Series twice. So you never know. You don't have to win your division to come out of that and win a World Series. That's the beautiful thing about baseball. Like I said, you could throw a bag of money at players. That's not necessarily going to always translate into championships. We saw Kansas City a couple of years back win the World Series. Really stud players, but not over the top stud. Markakis was on that team. You know what I'm saying? You had guys like that were on that ball team. Eric Hosmer. Nothing, no shade on them, but not like Machado or Arenado or them dudes. And they won the series because they had great bullpen. Just tremendous, man. Tremendous with the fact that how the Braves always do it. Anyway, let's get into some football here. I promise you, we will talk baseball as we're getting closer to the playoffs here. I want to throw a stat at you. You guys tell me if you think this is pretty amazing. I'm not big on stats, but I'm big on people not like identifying things that really you look at and you go, wow, I never really realized that. I sit around and I'm looking at who's going to be the starting quarterbacks for this coming weekend, and I start to see this. I'll throw this at you here. So do we consider Bill Belichick the greatest coach in the history of the National Football League? Do we consider Bill Belichick to be the greatest defensive-minded coach in the history of the league? I don't think so, right? Right? I mean, this guy coached Lawrence Taylor. Hey, who would have thought this? Bill Belichick's resume, he coached the greatest offensive player of all time in Tom Brady, but he's also coached the greatest defensive player in the history of the sport in Lawrence Taylor. I wonder who he would choose if he had to choose who was the greatest player of all time in the NFL. To me, I think it's Lawrence Taylor. But I'm biased because I saw Taylor during my time. LT was amazing. And when you can change a game without touching the football, don't you think those are special people? I think when you talk about great players, don't you think you have to come from this angle? You really can't explain them. Do you follow me when I say that? Like, watch when I say Wayne Gretzky to you. You can't explain it, can you? 92 goals, 200 points. Right? I mean, what? What do you mean 200 points? You mean for 3 years? No. He did that 5 years in a row. What do you mean he did that 5 years in a row? He did that over 5 years. No. 200 points a year, and he had 92 goals one season. You can't explain it. Or like you can't explain Wilt. You can't explain Brady. Right? How's a guy like this still doing it at 44? I mean, we find that crazy, right? Those are truly the great players. Like when you say Jim Brown, you're like this. I can't explain how he just outran everybody and ran them over. The great athletes, there's no explanation for Babe Ruth. Jesus, what am I watching here? How is he that great? You know what I mean? You just can't really put a tag on who they are. There's no explanation. You know how we debate some guys? Is this guy a Hall of Famer or not? He had a really couple of, funny, we were talking about Alfonso Soriano. You look at Alfonso Soriano, and Chris O is right. This guy, man, this guy's a 40-40 dude. Couple 30 years in there. I didn't realize it. 270 career lifetime average. He's got a higher batting average than Reggie. I don't know. This guy put up 400 homers. Infielder. Those pretty good numbers, man. Especially on the power numbers. Led baseball in stolen bases and home runs. What? What's that? What are you talking about? Remember Tim Raines? He was the guy that, one of the crazy stats, led the league in stolen bases and led the league in batting. That was his distinction. Same year he won the batting title, he won a stolen base title. Love those Expos uniforms. So to my point of circling back here, you really, there's no explaining some of these guys and how great they are. Belichick's kind of that way too. I want to show you something here. That kind of goes to his offensive genius. This is really weird. So this weekend in the NFL, do you know Belichick's going to have 4 starting quarterbacks that he drafted? Mac Jones with his Patriots. Jacoby Brissett, who's filling in for Tua Tagovailoa in Miami. Jimmy Graham in San Francisco. And Tom Brady with the Bucs. For a defensive-minded guy, this guy's got 4, okay? He's got 4 guys starting this week. All right, I'm going to explain to you why Gronk is the greatest, not just player. We'll hit it next. Good. Look at you with some knowledge. Can I help you? I know. Somebody just went like this. This guy Steve just goes like this, Chris. Circle back, Dan Psaki. Funny. A little bit of a tool, but funny. I did, and it helped. I love eating dry cereal sometimes. Yeah. And so, yeah, man, I'm from the East Coast too. Where are you from? Well, I'm from New York. Really? Where are you from in New York? Albany. Dog, you're from Canada. You're not right, bro. You're from Canada. You're not from New York. Dude. From Albany. Great. I don't know why this just happened, but I had a White Castle attack just now. Oh man. I had one earlier today too, and it just derailed me. You know what's funny? It's like all of a sudden you're like, I'm like a carp in a lake. And out of nowhere, I'll go like this. Food. Oh God. White Castle? Crystal? Not Crystal. Well, you know, Crystal's good if you're in another part of the country, but I'm more of a White Castle guy. I probably think if I sat down and you put ketchup on that bad puppy, how many do you think I could eat? Over 10. Are you? How dare you? I would give that Joey Chestnut a run for his money on these things. I would say this to you. I could probably eat 50. Oh, yeah. I ate 22 one night. Yeah, I know. It came back up. No, but wait a minute. Hold on. Here's the thing, though. I held 15 down like a weekend prior, but the following week I burped and it wasn't good. You know how you take like the cap off the where the fire hoses go, and the fire hydrant just shoots the water out? That's pretty much how my wall looked. How's your dinner, folks? Good? How's that Cheerios going? Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot. I just had an attack. I'm sorry about my White Castle attack. They sporadically pop up every now and then. So just put me back on the rails here. Right, Rob, let's get to him. I'm sorry if anybody's throwing their dinner up right now. Hey, this segment brought to you by Shovels Are Us. Oh, man. Get the drain out. Anyway. I wonder how come my water doesn't go down in my shower. Did you kill something in here? Holy cow, right. Is that Jimmy Hoffa down there? I think I see an eyeball. No, it's just the top patty off of my White Castle burger. Yeah, that's not an eye, it's an onion. That's not a pickle. Oh man, I love those mini hamburgers are so unbelievable. Oh God, they're fantastic. So let me get real quick with this Gronk story here. So Gronk was on Monday night with the Mannings, right? He goes like, they asked him about watching film, and Gronk goes like this: I don't watch film, I just run by dudes. And Bruce Arians was asked about it the next day. He's like, what did Gronk say? He doesn't watch film. Why don't you ask him that question again? So Gronk today was going like, yeah, well, let me clarify a little bit here. I mean, watching. He was being entertaining. But we know the media can't, they're not very, most people that are in the media don't have a very good personality. Especially the dudes on TV, because you know what they are? They're prompter readers. And most of the time, prompter readers, they're not very funny people. They just like Ron Burgundy. They actually put their little laughs in. That's why they sound like radio laughs. My wife always does this too. Radio laugh alert, radio laugh alert. You know the fake ones? Ha, ha, ha. Yeah. Notorious in my business. If it's not funny, don't laugh. Okay? And you can always tell the fake radio guy, oh, yeah. Yeah, it's actually obnoxious. Gronk he's fabulous. He's fabulous for the sport. Not only is he the greatest tight end that's ever lived, but he's also the greatest personality that the game has had in a long time. I mean it. He is such a great personality. I'd so love Gronk in the sport. And when Gronk's playing like he is with 4 touchdowns, and they're red zone touchdowns, the Buccaneers are going to be unbeatable. And by the way, I can't wait for that game this weekend between the Rams and Bucks. That's going to be one hell of a game. Okay? I'm not saying that, Steven. All right, listen, we'll take a look at some of the games coming up in week 3 of the NFL. It is Cowboys and Eagles. We'll reset and keep it here on the Sileo Show. Be right back. Be right back. I like Ben. Steven, I like Ben. Are you talking to somebody? I don't know what you're talking about. It has no bearing on me. Has no bearing on me, Buttstick. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, really? You see, guys, this guy talks like he's been drinking 7 packs of Courage. And I don't either. I don't know. It's a... Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. How in the world are you doing tonight? Man, tell you something. You know what I'm watching tonight? I'm watching Padres baseball. Padres baseball. You know, it's funny. I used to do a show in Southern California on the Mighty 1090. It's the home of, if you remember, American Graffiti. And also, that's the home of Wolfman Jack. That was one of the great things in my career that I've had the ability to do. I've worked on KGO radio up in the Bay Area, legendary call letters up there. I've worked on QAM in Miami. DAE was the first radio station in Florida. And I worked at the Mighty 1090, which is really I love the fact that I got a chance to do morning drive and do the same shift as Wolfman Jack. You probably guys don't know. Yeah, no, Stephen, right. You're right, man. Wolfman 690. I had the highest ratings in the history of that station. That was on the air in Southern California for 78 years when I left that thing. One of my crowning achievements was the fact that we took that thing and we were third in the market or something like that. And the Padres used to be on that. And let me just say this to you. The Padres have to be the worst baseball franchise since 1969 in baseball when they came into the league. Well, and by the way, this is going to end well for the conversation that I'm having when I'm talking Padres here. But am I right? Can you name me a worse franchise? Now, here, let's think about that for a minute. Seattle's never been to a World Series, right? The Mariners have never been to a World Series. Now, they came a couple of years after the Padres in '69. But I'm trying to think, since 1969, has there been a worse franchise? The Mets have been to numerous series. The Marlins have been. Hell, the Diamondbacks have actually won a World Series. Can you name me a worse franchise in baseball since 1969? Think of it. White Sox have won. Phillies have won. Cardinals, legendary. Twins have won. Right? Rockies, they've gone. Very limited success. What was it, 84 and 96 against the Yankees when Gwynn hit that home run off the upper deck? They got swept in that series, though. Right? Haven't really been relevant the last 25 years or 24 years at least. But I'll tell you something that they've done here. Their ballpark is spectacular. Their fans are a little bit like Cowboy fans, a little bit delusional. They think they have a rivalry with the Dodgers. Okay, I think it's more San Diego versus LA. Okay, if you want to go that route. But the rival for the Dodgers is the Giants, and it'll always be the Giants. This goes back to Brooklyn and New York. Don't ever think you're in the conversation as the Dodgers' rival. That may be your rival. But the Dodgers and the Giants have gone back for generations. You got fans on the East Coast that are Brooklyn and Giant fans, still to this day, families that follow the Giants and the Dodgers. So don't ever think that. And, you know, when I was broadcasting, and I'll tell you where I'm going with this, where I was broadcasting in Southern California, I mean, I used to just go like this. And Jerry Coleman, who was the great Yankee and was Mickey Mantle's best friend, was the voice of the Padres. I remember getting out, and you'll love this. I remember because I used to go to Old Timers games, and I met Jerry Coleman in a Yankee uniform. And I'll never forget, I get to San Diego, and they go, hey, you know, Jerry Coleman is voice of the Padres. I go, oh, yeah, the Yankee. No, the Padre. I'm like, no, I don't think so. They go, no, I think so. I'm like this, no. The Colonel was the Yankee. Yeah, but he was the voice of the Padres. I'm like, okay. Yeah, he's the voice of the Padres, but he's a Yankee. And they used to get so pissed at me with that because he was a Yankee. Casey loved him. All the Yankees loved him, man. And so I used to tell them, I'm like, you know, your franchise is not very good. They don't spend money. Funny thing happened, though. Last couple of years, they started spending cash. They bring in Manny Machado. They signed Fernando Tatis Jr. They got Eric Hosmer. Will Myers is now on the team. Think about this for a second. In the last 6 years, the San Diego Padres, let me write this down too. I think you'll dig this. They spent $87 million on Will Myers. They spent another $150 million on Eric Hosmer. They spent another $300 million on Machado. And then they spent another $300 million on Tatis. Not counting the pitching that they've gone after. Yu Darvish and all these guys. The Padres have spent $1 billion in salaries over the last couple of years here. They're fun to watch. Baseball's had some really good stories this year. I hope it translates with the fans in the stands. I really hope it translates into seeing some good numbers for them. because baseball needs an injection of people knowing that you're relevant. Do we not agree? You know, I said this a couple segments ago. The Rays are a great story, but are the Rays something that are going to make people tune on the television set to watch the Rays play because the Rays have a great organization? Nobody knows who's on that team. Is that going to make John Q. Public go like this? Well, let me watch the Rays. That's not going to make me do that, right? Yankees, Dodgers, Giants, Cardinals, Cubs, Red Sox. That's what moves the meter. See, great stories in baseball no longer make you lean forward. Am I right? My guy Chris O is a great baseball guy. He loves baseball. He's telling me Steve Glavine. He's got a great knowledge for it. But am I right when I say this? Make me lean forward. Rays versus the Giants in a World Series. Wow. I'll tell you what, that could be a tough watch. Could it be a great story? Yeah, but do people tune on great stories or do they tune on excitement and entertainment? Because, you know, in my world, we have this thing called PPM, personal people. If you're not going to the red meat within seconds, people are going like this because they have so many options today. YouTube, Twitch, what have you, right? Go to anything. Go to your phone. I'll catch it later. Not going to watch a 9-inning ball game. That's the thing that baseball, you know, baseball, I think it always hurts it the most too is because baseball doesn't have a clock. Every other sport that has started to be relevant in our country has a clock. NBA, NFL, college football, all has a clock. There's a time, you go home, that's it. Baseball, you can sit there for 4 hours, right? And especially with all the pitching changes today, you've made the game boring. When baseball went to specialization and they started specializing the sport, especially starting pitching, that's when you started losing fans because you have to have a lot of patience to watch a baseball game. I figured this out the other day. No longer do you have 1834 people or 2554 watching the sport any longer in masses. You know why? You have the attention span of a gnat today. Baseball, you have to have patience to watch it. And you have to know the beauty of the sport. But people don't care. They want entertainment. That's why when home runs were being hit in the game, you know what baseball did? Not only did they take the steroids out of the game, but you also took the excitement out of the game. And what was the most important thing that baseball did to the sport and to its fans? They took villains away. Every sport has to have cowboys and Indians, a villain and a good guy. Good guy versus evil. Cowboys and Redskins. All that stuff. Okay? What do you think? Washington and Dallas was a rivalry. Cowboys and Redskins. You don't get a chance to say that any longer because of the nickname being taken away. But why do you think that rivalry was put out there like that? It was marketed like that. Good versus evil. Baseball, I hope this year, I've watched some really good stories. I really hope that they could translate this into must-watch TV. There was nothing like, I think I was telling you this the other day, Chris and everyone else, my favorite World Series as a kid, and one of the first memories I have watching sports is the 75 series with the Red Sox and the Reds. Cincinnati Reds, Big Red Machine, Pete Rose, bench. Bernie Carbo with the Red Sox. Fred Lynn, Jim Rice. I can name you everybody on that team. Carlton Fisk behind the plate. Campbell reliever. Louis Tion on the hill. Bill Lee, Spaceman Lee, all that. What a series. To this day, it's my favorite series. And it went 7. Excuse me. Who made the last out? Yastrzemski. In Boston. I just went out in my backyard and I said, man, I want to be an athlete. I want to play baseball. I did. I didn't want to play football. I wanted to play baseball. But that's changed over the years. We don't have those personalities in baseball like we did. Rose was a great personality. Reggie was phenomenal. How about Nolan Ryan putting like chin music under that, right? How about Pedro Martinez? No crying in baseball. Throwing Zim on his head. Baseball had some stud personalities. I love the game. But not so much as of late. I've given it a year, though. I said, I'm going to watch this Padre team. They may not make the postseason. They've been struggling as of late. But I've enjoyed it. I've watched pretty much all their games. So, I know some of you all think, well, aren't you a football guy? So, not really. I was a baseball dude. The New York Mets sent me to Cape Cod, and I was in the Mets organization for a bit. I went up there and played in Cape Cod. I was going to go to Alaska, too. I was a damn good baseball player. Bobby Valentine came and recruited me and scouted me for the Mets when he was with the Mets. This was back in the 80s when I was at Catholic High. He came and threw me BP. Bobby V threw me BP and said, you got a chance, kid. We'll send you up to Cape Cod. Just like that. And I went up with Mickey Leone. I had a great time. I hope the sport of baseball gets back to where it once was with all the great personalities in it, because it deserves it. By the way, bottom of the hour, we'll take a look at week 3 of the NFL. I think there's some significant games. I think the most telling game will probably be the Rams and the Buccaneers. Steven goes, you were a catcher? No, I was a shortstop. What do you think? Hey, shortstops don't eat White Castle, dude. Yeah, first baseman maybe, yes, okay. But catchers definitely eating White Castles. All right, Cowboys. What's the difference this year versus last year? I'll tell you next. No, that'd be you, son. See, I'm the pitcher, you're the catcher. How you doing? Just remember that always. No, I don't like Euros. Yeah, sure, kid. I don't know. Gyros, sure. Okay, great. That's funny. That's funny. That is funny what you just said. Ugh, believe me, I could come up with a list from A to Z with you people. Ugh. I can't, because you know what? It's beneath me. Don't worry, Junior. You just sit there and you just be you. If somebody ever said that to me, you're miserable. Oh, congratulations, brother. That's a great thing. Good for you, man. You know why you keep score? You know why you keep calendar like that? It must be an everyday deal. Okay. Huh? Well, I'm raising a glass to you here. Here you go. Yeah. Here, your 21st year. Hold on. No, Stanford, jackass. Hey, nice. Since you're 21 years sober, here's a nice salute. Yeah. That's a worm drink. No, thank you. I want tequila. The worm ran from me. Ain't nothing like tequila and the worm and 22 White Castles. I did not do the chicken rings. Oh yeah, White Castle has nothing on that menu except those burgers. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. My guy Chrysoki's bringing White Castles up, and now my mouth's watering. Nothing really on that menu outside. I mean, if you've never been to a White Castle, because it's really an East Coast thing. I think they tried expanding like to the Midwest and out West, but that's right, there is. That's right, there is a White Castle there. I remember that in there now. Yes, sir. Dude, those things. You know what's really crazy in California are these In-N-Out places. Yeah, In-N-Out, man. Get this, you stand in line for 30 minutes trying to get a burger and fries. I think there's only like 4 items on the menu. That's why it's like that, Chris, because there's only like 4 items. Everything is homemade. People stand 30 minutes in line for those things when they're out here. It's crazy. Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, wow. Jesus Christ. A soliloquy over hamburgers. Okay, guy. Great. Thank you. Thanks for your contributing. No. It's all good. Hey, congratulations to you, man. Thank you very much for your input. Wow, you just gave a plug. Good night. Cowboys. What's the difference this year from last year? How about this one? What's going to be the difference this year from last year? From Dak getting hurt to where they are right now, 1-1 going into this Eagle game on Monday night. What's the difference? Tony Pollard, okay, running the ball better. Dak looks pretty good. You know what Dak didn't do last week that I loved, actually? Didn't throw a touchdown pass in that Charger game. But why am I to believe this year will be different than any other year that the Cowboys have had over the last 27 years? And by the way, I'm not coming from this from a negative angle. I'm just asking a question. Why am I to believe this year, under Jerry Jones, it's going to be different? Hey, is Micah Parsons a good-looking player? Absolutely. You know what they found in this guy? They found that they could put his hand in the dirt. After DeMarcus Lawrence went down, they needed a pass rusher. They put him in there, and he was all over Justin Herbert. He actually may win the Defensive Rookie of the Year award. That's how good that – I'm not saying they fell into him, but I'm telling you, they have somebody here. Remember, they were isolating Patrick Surtain, the kid from Alabama, the defensive back. They traded down with the Eagles, of all people, and they ended up landing this kid from Penn State. The kid looks great. He was everywhere. I thought he tortured that Chargers O-line. And has he improved the defense? Yeah. So I would say this to you. They're better. But I don't know what that means. How much better? Are they championship better? Is Dak Prescott a quarterback that's going to win? How about this? Let me say this to you. You think Dak Prescott's a Super Bowl quarterback? You think this guy is going to lead this franchise to a Super Bowl while Jerry Jones owns the team? I'm not saying that his family's not going to continue owning it. Once Jerry goes up to the big Cowboy Stadium in the sky, but I'm just saying, you think he wins another Super Bowl, Jerry? I don't know. All right. Hey, we'll continue this conversation. We'll look at week 3 of the NFL. Do me a favor. This goes out to our great friends in the Valley Hooters there in the Phoenix area. Guys, everybody is loving what's going on there at the Hooters during this football season. Arizona State, Arizona Cardinals, finishing up watching Diamondbacks. How about the Suns? This is going to be your favorite place to go. $3 Michelob Ultra Drafts for you. Great beer specials. Great unbelievable food specials. I mean it, man. Great giveaways, too. A lot of fun when you go into the Valley Hooters. Make sure you go in there. And do me a favor. Tell them your boy Sileo sent you. Some significant games in week 3 of the NFL. Let's hit on them. We'll do it next. You should. No, it's all good. Really? I'll tell you, Chick-fil-A's got some great sandwiches. Wendy's great chili. The best fries, in my opinion, are McDonald's. Yeah, I like McDonald's never F's the fries up. No way, man. I like that McDonald's, man. They're nice and thin. They're not crazy. They really do a great job on the fries. The burgers, if I had to choose, McDonald's burgers too, man, are great. I mean, the Quarter Pounders and the Big Mac are phenomenal. Now that's Wendy's. Oh yeah. I don't think I don't think I've ever eaten better hamburgers than them White Castles, though, dude. This Petco ballpark is beautiful. I threw a first pitch out in this thing. Whew, was it terrible? Here's Longoria here. I think he went to Long Beach State. I know he's a California guy. I didn't hit the public announce. I dribbled it. Yeah, okay, Junior. Yeah, okay. You know what? No Hope, Bob Hope. Which one are you? Pick one. I doubt it. Not with your double vision. Hey, dog. Affliction? No, it's not a sickness. It's a weakness. Just remember that. That was so terrible. Hey, that was so terrible. I'm sorry. I'd take that back. Yeah. No, no, don't worry about it, man. You crawl back in your bottle anytime. Wait a minute. My Aunt Betty, I don't mean that. I don't want my aunt to get she's going to get mad at me. $99 bottles of beer. Take one down, pass it around. 98 bottles of beer on the wall. Sorry, Chris. 98 bottles of beer. Pass one down. Chris is passed out. Yeah, I know. Thank you very much. Stop crying anytime you want now. Oh, of course, I would never say that if it did. Well, Chris, because you're a good dude, man. You're a good dude, man. Sometimes. No. You only get a few. Yeah, right. Okay. They make statues of me at Miami. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, there's banners of me down there. The Queen of Hialeah. Hialeah, is that what you said? Okay. You mean Hialeah, right? It's all good. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Well, let's just do this. Everybody's having a good time. Shots on me. Oh, man. Yeah. Shot in the chaser. Oh, boy. We have a lot of fun here. Yeah. Go ahead, Chris. Yes. You're in. Yeah. Yeah, no. I understand that, Chris. I was just like reading a little statement here, and I was going to try to wish you some good luck here and maybe give you a poem that you could take and put under your pillow tonight, and celebrate yourself. I was just, trying to figure out the proper words for you. No, I didn't say you're welcome, but hey. My grandmother's brains are on the window. No. The weather tonight, my feet are freezing. Yeah. Please. Thank you, Dan Marino. Isotoner, send them free. I work in radio. I work on gift cards. Do me a favor. Send me a pair of shoes. Anything. I need to feed my family. Send me some Burger King cards. Hey, I can't pay you, but I'll tell you what I can do. I can send you a boatload of isotoners. Can I eat them? Oh, man. Anyway, hope everyone's having a good time tonight because we are, as you can see. By the way, I tell you this all the time. If you'd like to join us on our social media platforms, you can. Our Twitch channel, our YouTube. Again, it's all fun tonight here, man. So we really appreciate it. I do want to say this to you, though. So, Dolphins got a situation now. Their quarterback's injured. He's not going to play in the Raider game this weekend. Tagovailoa. They have really been an interesting team this year to watch so far in the first two games. Because the Dolphins have been kicking the tire on Deshaun Watson. And they've been kicking the tire on him, but yet in the same light, they've been telling Tua how much they love him. After a while, don't you do this? I don't believe you. And now that he's injured, Jacoby Brissett's going to step in. You watch Jacoby Brissett play really well. Okay? You watch him play really well. Isn't that an amazing stat that I gave you a couple minutes ago? That Bill Belichick's got 4 quarterbacks starting this weekend that he drafted. Mac Jones, Jacoby Brissett with the Dolphins, Jimmy Garoppolo with the 49ers, and of course the legendary Tom Brady. Is that crazy? 4 guys that were Patriots. One's currently, obviously, because he drafted them this year, Alabama, and Mac Jones. But these other guys were all in the quarterback room with Brady, and now they're starting. And the greatest defensive coordinator of all time drafted him. You could say whatever you want about Bill Belichick, but he knows quarterbacks. That's a crazy stat. Crazy stat that guy drafted all those players and all those quarterbacks. Incredible. Incredible. All right, let's take a look at this week 3. You know, I tell people this all the time, that you start to get trends, okay, on teams after 3 games. You get an understanding of who they are. I'm not necessarily going to pick the games yet, because we'll do that on Friday like we always do on Football Fridays. But I'm going to tell you here a little bit about what these games and what these teams have done so far in the first 2 weeks of the season. And I'm going to go like this. Hey, this team's doing this. This team's going there. Carolina and Houston are going to play. And it's in Houston. And get this, no Deshaun Watson, even though Tyrod Taylor's on IR. They're starting some dude I don't even know. How about the way Carolina's playing? So Carolina makes a deal, and they go get Sam Darnold up in New York, and they bring him down. Carolina's 2-0. Matt Rule's doing a hell of a job coaching that team. Doesn't it show you when you have – remember I tell you this about your profession, my profession that I'm doing right now, radio? You got good people around you, and you got people you can trust around you. They can coach the greatness out of you. And that's what Matt Rule's doing. Carolina's getting really great production out of Sam Darnold. Again, having Christian McCaffrey in the backfield, that has to help. But they're a good-looking football team this year. Sunday games, Arizona and Jacksonville. Traditionally, this would be a dog game. But Arizona's actually pretty good. I really love what Kyler Murray's doing in Arizona. I think Steve Kahn, the general manager, has put it out there. And he told Cliff Kingsbury, the coach of the Arizona Cardinals, guys got to win. We got a playoff roster. And I would say this to you, too. They're playing Jacksonville, right? If you're a Jag fan, aren't you doing this right now? I expected a little more. I think everybody knows. And by the way, it's in Jacksonville. I think everybody understands, right, that this was going to be a rebuild in Jacksonville. But, dude, can you show me that you're going to be a little bit better than what you guys currently are right now? Because even Trevor Lawrence doesn't look like a good prospect. You even have Boomer Esiason saying this now. Well, if I had to redraft him, I might take Mac Jones #1 overall. Really? So you're telling me if I put Trevor Lawrence in New England, you don't think Trevor Lawrence would be winning ball games in New England with Bill Belichick? I find that crazy. Atlanta and New York, the Giants suck. Daniel Jones, I don't know. He played well last game. I thought he was a decent prospect coming out of Duke. I don't know. If I'm Dave Gettleman, the general manager, I start to do this now. I don't know. I mean, do the Giants need a new quarterback? I believe you do. Do you need a new coach? I don't think Joe Judge yet. I don't think it's fair. Maybe at the end of the year we take a look at it. I don't know. The Giants, I don't know where they're going. How about this? I don't even know where Atlanta's going. I think Matt Ryan's a good ball player, but they played the Buccaneers pretty tough last week in Tampa. They got it down to 28-25. Game was close. In 7 minutes, the Bucs pulled away. I think the Buccaneers put 48 on them. Baltimore and Detroit. How about Lamar Jackson? By the way, you guys look down on Lamar Jackson for not being vaccinated? I don't really care either way. It's no bearing to me whether he's vaccinated, unvaccinated. I don't really care. No, it means nothing to me. But I would say this to you. Baltimore, after winning that game against the Chiefs, this Detroit team, I think they're getting better, but I don't know. Goff was good in the first half against the Packers. You know, you always get, too, when teams come off that short work week, they seemingly, especially the teams that lose, seemingly play well. They're playing at home at Ford Field. But Baltimore, man, Lamar is such a good football player. I am such a fan of his. How about Chicago, Cleveland? Justin Fields' first start. If I were Justin Fields, I would pad up in this game. Okay? Cleveland's going to come after you. You know what you do to a young quarterback with a bad old line? Blitz him. Keep coming after him. Pressure that guy. Make him throw the ball as much as you can. That's what I would do to him. Don't let them get a running game going. Don't let him off the hook. Pass rush that. I wouldn't even respect the run. I would keep coming after him, and I would make that guy throw the ball, and I would end up crushing this kid late in the ball game. One-dimensionalize him. He's not ready to play yet. He's a green apple on the tree. He's going to be ready soon, but he's not ready yet. I actually think Cleveland's a pretty good football team. I don't know about their quarterback yet. Still waiting to see him win a big game. I'm talking playoff game that matters. But Cleveland's got a lot of talent. I'm going to say something that I thought I'd never say in my lifetime, this next game. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh here. And it's at Heinz Field. Ben Roethlisberger's toast. I don't even know if he's playing this week. That means Dwayne Haskins may get a look. He's going to do everything he said in his power. I don't know. Ben Roethlisberger, 100% healthy, wasn't going to help Pittsburgh win this game. I have no idea how that team beat the Bills in the opener. No idea. I think Cincinnati's really a football team that's heading in the right direction under Joe Burrow. I really like them. You know, I mean, they've got some talented people. The running back, Mixon's pretty good. The kid from LSU, Chase, starting to catch the football. I like their defense. I don't know, man. There's something in Cincinnati. I think finally the Brown family's moving that thing in the right field, in the right direction as well. I like it. Indianapolis, Tennessee. So Carson Wentz, I guess, practiced today. Man, I got to tell you something about that guy. This guy's made of balsa wood. This guy's always hurt. He's never healthy. And Tennessee, on the other hand, coached by Mike Vrabel, dude, that moving refrigerator known as Derrick Henry, he had 182 against the Seahawks in Seattle on their home opener. And get this guy had 3 touchdowns rushing, and he ran that Colts team. I mean, he ran that Seahawks team over. He was special in that game. I don't think the Colts go into this game and beat Tennessee, especially with a banged-up Wentz. We'll see. Chargers in Kansas City, this is going to be – I think the Chargers are in desperation mode now. You're 0-2. Cowboys beat them. 56-yard field goal. I mean, they're the most penalized team in the NFL after 2 games. Everybody was telling me that this is a playoff roster. Well, you're 0-2. Got to win games. Kansas City drops that game to the Ravens. There's something about Kansas City this year. I don't know what it is. There's just they don't look as physical. Maybe it's different dudes in the O-line, but they just don't look. They don't look physical as they have in the last 2 years, 3 years maybe even. So Kansas City gets beat last Sunday night by the Ravens. They're going to come out and play their ass off. And by the way, it's at Arrowhead. So I would give the Chargers a pretty tough putt to try to go in there and win that ball game. New Orleans and New England. I can't tell who New Orleans is, and I don't know how good New England is. You know, the first game of the year, they end up destroying the Packers. Then they come out and lay an egg in the next game. I mean, we'll see. I think it's the new quarterback. I think everybody's trying to get comfortable with one another. There's no longer Drew Brees there. And in New England, I don't know. New England needs to run the ball. They're not letting Mac Jones do too much. I tell you this. I understand that New England is playing a young quarterback right now, but I got to tell you something here. I think if you had Cam Newton on that New England team, I think they'd be more of a contender. Washington and Buffalo will be a good game. I want to see who Washington is, and I know Buffalo's going to start playing better. They destroyed the Dolphins last weekend. Miami and Vegas. I think Vegas is going to go 3-0 in the season. How about that? They're going to be hosting the Dolphins. And I'll tell you, John Gruden, 3-0, he needed that. Jets in Denver. How about Teddy Bridgewater and the job that he's doing? He's got a chance to go 3-0 on the season. I like Denver. I think they got some talent there. The Jets suck. Seattle goes into Minnesota. Mike Zimmer could be fired after this game if they lose and start out the season 0-3. Really. I mean, there's a lot of talent. Dalvin Cook is on that team. Look at the guys that they have on defense. Come on, man. You got to win that ball game. And Seattle's not going to drop 2 in a row. This is the game of the weekend, though. Buccaneers and the Rams. You know what's funny? I'm not going to talk about Brady. I want to see how Matthew Stafford does against Tom Brady. Brady has nothing left to prove. It's not at all. He's going to go on the road, and he's going to SoFi Stadium. So Brady in L.A., how do you think Brady's going to do in L.A.? Brady knows the stage. He's got a propensity to know the moment, you know? You know, one thing about Tom Brady and his career, whether it be promoting his career or talking about his career or other people, doesn't he have impeccable timing? He's got impeccable timing. Then you have Green Bay, San Francisco. I think that's going to be a hell of a football game. Green Bay's got to win that game, too, because they go on the road. Hey, do me a favor, folks. Log on to podcasterwarehouse.com. Headphones, earbuds, everything you need. All kinds of furniture, too, that they have for you there to build your home studio. Use the promo code Sileo, S as in Sam, I-L-E-O. That's S as in Sam, I-L-E-O. You can spend as much as $5 to $5,000. That's podcasterwarehouse.com. Then the Monday night game is Eagles and Cowboys. I want to hit on that game. Both teams need this. One team needs it more than the other. I'll tell you next. You keep it here on the Sileo Show. Funny. Is that me? Was that me? That was funny. That was funny. I know, Chris. I know, son. I mean, you know, I know. I know. I'm glad you get pleasures out of certain things, Chris. It makes me feel good that you're not, No, I wasn't going there, but I mean, you threw that in the room. I was not. No, I was going to say sitting over a bottle of pills, but hey, it's See, that doesn't, when anyone does that to me, that does not. Okay. Was it pills? Was it pills and booze? Was it pills and booze? Okay. Yeah, I once OD'd on 2 devil dogs. It was crazy. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, no. Hey, you're a dick. Hey, I'm kidding. So I don't take it. Hey, Chris, you're an asshole. But hey, wait a minute. I don't say I'm sorry. You don't mean that. Uh-huh. Wow, your sister? Great. Oh, wow. Oh, man. I don't care, really. I just got accused from Chris. Dude, how far are you going to stick your head up Brady's backside? Took us, okay. Yeah, but that's how that's kind of, it's kind of stuck. Well, Chris, the only thing that I really cared that you said tonight so far has been that. Right? We have a great time. Yeah, I don't mean any of that at all. Thank you. Merry Christmas. I don't really sit here and do this. Well, I'm a Brady fan or a Patriot fan. I'm not. I'm just a fan of greatness. Could be. I'm a fan of Wayne Gretzky. I'm a fan of Jim Brown. I'm a fan of Lawrence Taylor. I'm a fan of Jerry Rice. I'm a fan of, watch this. You know what's crazy? LeBron James, too. Michael Jordan. All these guys, man. But what we do is we go around the room talking about the things that make them who they are. And some guys like a Michael Jordan, or some guys don't like the way LeBron carries himself. What have you. At the end of the day, though, these guys are all special dudes, man. Can I help you, Chris? I'm your favorite. Oh, thank you. Well, Chris, that's really nice of you, man. You're what? Wait a minute, Chris. You're one of my top 20 favorite producers of all time. I know you're one of my top 20 favorite board ops ever. Wait a minute, man. Oh, hey, wait, no, I'm not getting dirty. I'm just telling you, you're one of my top 20 favorite board ops. Yeah. Hey, how you feeling tonight, kid? Scotty Farrell, who's that? Never heard of him. Oh, that's right. He's doing a gaming show now somewhere in Vegas. Great. Good for him. Scotty Farrell, man. God, I admired that guy so much, what he did. He was really the first guy that did national radio, because he did Farrell on the Bench back in the day, Chris, with Westwood One. And it was really the first syndicated show. You know what Rome said he did? He went into the Los Angeles studios there in Culver City when Scott first started doing that. He said he sat there with a notepad, and Scott told me he was in there for like 2 months watching everything that Scott did. And so if you really want to know syndicated radio, I would say this to you, sports talk-wise, and I am dear friends with Scott, and I love him. You know the one thing he did? He goes like this, Big Sills, let me tell you what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to become the Atlanta Thrashers voice. I said, dude, you got a #1 show going. You're on in 500 markets around the country. Why do you want to do this? He's like, well, the Farrella's got to sit there, and, Farrella can't be on. I'm sorry, I missed that. Scott's like this. All I know is, Sills, I was in Vegas, and I was laying like I was Jim Morrison in my room. And man, I'm laying there, and there's like an 8-ball on the table, and I didn't, and I'm going, Scott, stop it. He did this on the air. And I go, Scott, he goes, so he did the Atlanta Thrashers, and he wanted to be like the guy. He thought he was going to be like the guy. What's his name? Steigerwald in, who was the voice of the Penguins? And he had that voice kind of like Scott's, you know what I mean? So he thought yes, right. Well, anyway, I think it's like Steigerwald or something like that. And so like Scott, that thing was a train wreck, and they fired him within like 2 months. Oh, completely. And Scott kind of lost his marbles a little bit there, and he's always had that kind of issue. But oh yeah, then get this. So I'll never forget this, dude. So I get a call from Gary Stern's producer. Hey, we'd like you to come on and do the Howard 101. I said, man, my wife says I'll start swearing. I did. So they gave it to Scott. Scott was there like 15 years. He did very well there, man, out of the studios of New York. And then he ended up leaving and going to CBS. Yeah. Fabulous sports, babe. I actually like Nancy. Nancy's good people. Nancy's good people, man. How about this story here? Florida State, bottom 25 teams in the country. Wow. Have the mighty fallen. So much going on in the National Football League. We will hit on Eagles and Cowboys. We'll reset. You keep it right here on the Dan Sileo Show.